Imagine this. It's 4 a.m. and you're awoken by emergency alert systems. The sirens are blaring as you stumble out of bed and turn on the television for more information. CNN is reporting news of the walking dead. People with arms stretched in front of them, staggering aimlessly. They're exhibiting aggressive and psychotic behavior. Now, this may sound like a scene from a Hollywood movie, and if you think that, I wouldn't blame you. For I have seen nearly every zombie movie out there, I've researched the subject extensively, and I often find myself in conversations with people asking what they would do if an outbreak were to occur. I'm here today to tell you that this is not the stuff of Hollywood, that a zombie outbreak is not only humanly possible, but is also scientifically possible. And that it's a problem people should work to prevent and prepare for. Now, before I delve into the possible causes of a zombie outbreak, I think it's important to define what a zombie is. According to Merriam-Webster's dictionary, the word zombie means a person held to resemble the so-called walking dead, a person markedly strange in appearance and behavior. One possible cause of a zombie outbreak is biological warfare. Max Brooks, who is the author of the Zombie Survival Guide, said if there is anything in this world that could possibly threaten humanity, you can bet someone somewhere is already trying to turn it into a weapon. I couldn't agree more. In fact, the Gulf War syndrome is thought to the Gulf War syndrome is thought to have been the result of biological warfare. Biological warfare was outlawed in 1972, but there are a lot of countries that are still feared to have them in their control and use. According to usc.edu, of the 690,000 troops that were deployed to Iraq during Desert Storm, 80,000 reported symptoms of Gulf War syndrome. In fact, Saddam Hussein's own son-in-law admitted that Iraq had enough biological agents to kill the world population several times over. Now, if a zombie outbreak isn't the result of biological warfare, then it could be the result of a parasite. It's fascinating, really. Inside the brain of a rat lives a parasite called toxoplasma. This parasite can only breed if it's inside of a cat. So knowing this parasite raises the dopamine inside of a rat's brain, and it rewires the brain of a rat to be attracted to the smell of cat urine. Therefore, the rat purposely puts itself in harm's way because it has been rewired. Humans then contract the disease called toxoplasmosis when they come into contact with the feces of a cat that had eaten the rat that had the parasite toxoplasma. Kind of sounds like a bad Dr. Seuss book. According to the Center for Disease Control, humans get toxoplasmosis. WebMD states that results in two things: encephalitis and schizophrenia. Encephalitis is an acute inflammation of the brain. Schizophrenia is a mental disorder. Symptoms of both include confused speech and thinking, convulsions, restlessness, hallucinations, memory problems, paranoid and bizarre behavior, and they can also lead to aggressive and psychotic episodes. If this isn't alarming enough, the Center for Disease Control estimates that 23% of adolescents and adults have signs of infection of toxoplasmosis. Imagine the devastation that would be caused if a parasite such as toxoplasmosis could evolve and shift just a little bit to the point where it was controlling the brains of humans as it does the brains of rats. Suddenly, the world would be full of people who lack self-preservation and rational thought. People who are suffering from paranoid and psychotic disorders, acting aggressive with slurred speech and slowed mental and physical responsiveness. Kind of sounds like a zombie, doesn't it? Think this couldn't happen? It not only can, something very similar to what I'm describing actually occurred. According to Stanford University, the influenza pandemic of 1918 killed more people than World War I. Somewhere between 20 to 40 million people died. It has been said that it is the most devastating recorded epidemic in the world's history. It was truly a global disaster. Now, this is the interesting part. It was thought to have originated in China from a rare genetic shift in the influenza virus. Furthermore, a study in 2007 conducted by the University of Washington-Madison and the University of Tokyo proved that the 1918 virus was indeed different from all the other flu viruses. So essentially what happened is you have an everyday common cold that through a very rare genetic shift wiped out 40 million people in the course of only a year and a half. Now that I have you looking over your shoulders wondering who amongst us may have toxoplasmosis, I present a survival plan. It is important for us to exercise extreme caution around animal feces. I would then suggest implementing a plan that focuses on the 3 elements of survival. People first must prepare shelter. It is important to barricade and isolate. If you live in an apartment building, seek shelter on the 2nd floor or above, and then physically take out all the staircases leading to you. If you live in a house, then you need to plan a little bit earlier by building a 10-foot fence, preferably a concrete wall of some sort, around your property. Doing this will both isolate you and barricade you. Second, people must prepare nourishment. You may think that sticking with canned food and bottled water would be the best solution. However, there are better long-term solutions via emergency food kits that provide up to 275 meals in just one 5-gallon bucket. As for water, the best solution is to use water purification systems. This way, you can purify collected rainwater. Now lastly, people must prepare to defend themselves. As for weaponry, Max Brooks, the expert of all things zombie, suggests both the machete and the M1 carbine rifle are superb to anti-zombie weapons. The M1 carbine gun is light, accurate, and uses a round so small that many can be carried. It is relatively quiet compared to larger caliber guns and can be used in close quarters. The machete is also found to be appropriate for similar reasons. Now, before I finish up, let me leave you with this final thought. Si vis pacem para bellum, which is Latin for, if you wish for peace, prepare for war.